Hey there, and welcome to Inside Butler Football. I'm your host, Bree Seaver. The Butler football team came from behind late in the game to capture an exciting homecoming victory over Morehead State with a 39-35 win. In a second, we'll be joined by Butler head football coach Jeff Forrest to talk about last week's game and take a look at the games ahead. Stay with us on Inside Butler Football. We welcome you back to Inside Butler Football. Butler head football coach Jeff Forrest joins me today. Coach, thanks for coming in.
Good to be back.
So Butler really made some big plays in the final minutes of the game, which ultimately resulted in them beating Morehead State. I mean, Matt Lancaster threw for 3 touchdowns in the last 9 minutes of the game. Can you talk about the team's mentality towards the end of the game and how they kept playing tough to the very end?
Well, I think it goes back to understanding that 60 minutes is a long time. I think that's one of the traits of this group. They understand they can't win fast. I mean, you got to play for 60 minutes, and if you keep lining up and doing your job and playing complementary football and feeding off the other unit, that you're going to have a chance. And it comes down to the only thing that you can affect at any given moment is the play you're on. And I thought we did a good job of staying in it and believing and taking advantage of the opportunities the other side of the ball gave each side.
Now, it looked as if Butler was going to come away with an easy win when they scored on the first play, just 19 seconds into the game, and Brendan Shannon caught a 65-yard pass, only to be stripped of the ball and then recovered on the 2-yard line, running in for the Butler touchdown. Can't be all that common of a play. How often have you seen that?
I don't know. I can't recall ever seeing one like that. It's definitely one we don't practice.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing there was the effort play of Derek O'Connor. I mean, that ball probably goes to Morehead if Derek didn't stay with the play and chase the play and help, knock it loose in the scrum and keep it alive for Brandon then to pick up again. So, I mean, that touchdown really goes to Derek's effort.
Now, after that initial drive, Morehead State kind of seemed to take over for a little bit of the game. They scored 3 consecutive touchdowns, make the score 21-10. What was the defense struggling with in the second and third quarters that they were able to do well in the fourth?
I don't know if I wouldn't classify it as struggling. I just think that you tip your hat to them. I mean, Morehead State is very, very explosive on offense. They got a great scheme. Their quarterback doesn't hold the ball and can distribute it and has good players around him. So I think that was part of it. And, the other thing is, for us to play well on defense, we got to control the ball and move it and put some points on the board to keep the defense going. So I think as much as the defense was in a battle with Morehead State, the offense has to help them a little bit. Now we got to keep the ball in front of us. We allowed some big plays that we can't allow if we're going to be successful this week. But for the most part, I thought we hung in there and played pretty well against a good offense. Yeah,
and speaking about the offense, Butler really showed off their running game. Running back Trey Heater, he is ranked first in the PFL with 850 yards. And close behind him is Matt Lancaster, and he's the quarterback. So actually, Trey and Matt were the first Butler tandem since 2002 to post 100-yard rushing performances. So can you talk about their superior rushing abilities and how they complement each other really well?
Well, I think it's kind of where college football's gone to some extent, is that the spread offense to allow the quarterback to be an integral part of the run game and make the defense have to defend 6 skilled guys instead of 5 and defend the whole field. So it puts a little bit of a stress on the defense to be able to do that. And it all starts up front. I mean, those 2 guys will tell you that the offensive line's done a great job of getting the front called right and getting a body on a body and doing a great job up front. And you throw in probably why we run it so well is we can complement it with the pass, and we're very balanced in what we do. Not only quarterback run to running back, but also run to pass. Makes it tough to prepare for, and as well as the offensive line's playing, you know, both those guys were able to have 100-yard days.
Now, Butler wide receiver Brendan Shannon was named the PFL Offensive Player of the Week, and he's becoming the 4th Butler player to be honored by the PFL this season. He caught 3 touchdowns, one of them being the game winner, and he finished a career high with 14 receptions and for a career best 233 yards. Can you just talk about Brendan and his impact on the offense?
Well, there's no question he's a good football player, but I mean when we start looking at you know, players and guys that they're going to fit the Butler system and the Butler way, I mean he's the classic example of a guy that's going to work every day. He's always prepared. I mean, the effort level's off the chart. You know, those are the things that give him. He's a good football player. There's no question. But the way he goes about his day, and the way he prepares, and all those things gives him an opportunity to have days like Saturday. And the thing is, a guy like Brendan gets noticed because he has the ball in his hand. But you know, we're where we're at right now because we have a lot of guys that approach it the same way, that understand that consistent preparation and being ready to go whenever your number's called. You know, so that's why we're there, and Brendan's just a classic example of that.
Yeah, it's a team effort. All right, well, we're going to take a look at some highlights from the game. This first play is the first play of the game. This is where Matt Lancaster throws to Brendan Shannon. Can you talk about the unusualness of this play?
Well, I mean, we got over the top on the first play off some play action, and you know, unfortunately, we didn't secure it. But this is what we talked about earlier. You can see Derek O'Connor, number 1, is kind of the guy that keeps the play alive. I don't know if Brendan gets back to the ball if Derek isn't coming down and continuing to chase the play there. You know, a lot of people would have given up on that play, and Derek didn't. And he's the one that knocks it back free and allows Brendan to pick it up.
Now, this next one is the final touchdown of the game from Lancaster to Brendan Shannon again. Can you just talk a little bit about this play?
Well, I think this play all goes back to the whole 4th quarter, and you know, when you're down, a lot of things have to go right, and we threw the ball a ton of times in the 4th quarter with no quarterback sacks. So it all started with the line. Matt does a nice job moving in the pocket, and the route was open, so it was a good call at the right time and well executed.
This play is an interception by safety David Burke. Can you speak a little bit to David's ability to read the play and get the interception?
Well, I mean, I think that this is how fragile football is. I mean, that ball's, you know, in his hands and gets you know, he tips it up and David's there. I mean, defense is all about fitting your right gap and pursuing to the football, and David makes this play just because he's running and playing hard. You know, you can see that ball gets flipped up and he's in the right spot, and that's a big play for us. I mean, you had to get their offense off the field, and we had to create short fields for our offense.
Now, this last one is the 3rd down, the 4th quarter. It was a solo tackle by Christian Ebel, and this forces Moorhead to punt the ball and give the Butler offense another chance to score.
Yeah, and that's, you know, when we were down as much as we were, a lot of things had to go right, and one of the things, you know, everyone talks about the touchdowns, but the defense had, you know, 3 and outs in the 4th quarter, didn't give up a first down until after we regained the lead. So that play right there allowed us one more opportunity when we were down, so that was a huge football play.
All right. We welcome you back to the Get to Know Your Bulldogs segment of the show. This week we're getting to know redshirt junior cornerback Sean Grady. Sean, thanks for coming in.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Now, so where are you from, Sean?
I'm from suburbs of Chicago, Geneva, Illinois.
And what high school did you go to?
Geneva Community High School.
And when did you first start playing football?
I first started playing football in 5th grade. So however old you are when that was, parents didn't let me play until then. So.
Was it Pop Warner? Yep. Now, coming out of high school, what were your top college choices? Who were you being really actively pursued by?
Butler was one for sure, and Drake, who was also in the Pioneer League, and then Grand Valley State, D2 school up in Michigan. They were pretty heavy recruiting me.
Now, what made Butler stand out from all of these other schools?
Butler, I liked Coach Forrest when he came to visit. He, you know, he kind of just talked to me, and he wasn't trying to fill my head with all these different stats and like stuff like that. And then on my visit, I really liked the campus, and I really liked where the program was going. So.
Now, when you came on your first official visit, you got to meet a lot of the team, I'm assuming. So what about the guys made you really want to be a part of the team?
Meeting some of the guys, it really showed just the type of team that Butler had then and that I was going to be joining. And I felt like it was a good fit with some of the people I met, and really thought I could fit in.
Now, Butler is one of those universities that really prides their athletes on being students first and athletes second. So, like, what kind of or what resources does the Butler football team offer you that has really helped you succeed not only on, you know, the field but also in the classroom?
One thing that really helps is you have 105 guys usually around on your team, and they'll usually be able to help you with your class selection, or you know, if you're taking a class and struggling, they can help you out, because most of them, if you have 105 people, they've usually taken the class you're in. And then the athletic department does a good job with Sonia Hopkins. She's the coordinator, and you can go to her for any type of tutor or any help you need. That's
great. Now, as you look back at your career, what's been one of the most fun and memorable moments of your time spent in Butler football program?
Actually, new is just last weekend, playing at homecoming under the lights, and then the comeback that we had is probably one of the coolest things that, you know, one of the most memorable moments I'll take back with me.
How was the locker room after that?
Oh, it was crazy. That was a lot of fun. We were real excited, and, you know, just for a game to end like that, you know, it's awesome.
Now, what kind of things are you going to take away after you graduate?
Teamwork is one huge one. The Butler way, doing things right, and, you know, like we say, you know, do things right, and, you know, do it the Butler way, and that stuff will really stick with me. And just also playing sports, the organization and time management that you get from going to school and also playing a sport.
How would you best describe the time that you spent playing Butler football?
Time of my life. I've never been happier that I get to play football and I get to play at this great university. And I like to tell everyone before games, like, you know, get excited. We get to play football today, and what more could you ask for?
So yeah, and you've been playing since 5th grade, so it's a long time. Now, as you get ready to exit the Butler football program, what kind of advice would you give to underclassmen or incoming recruits?
I would definitely say, like, take ownership in what you do, and you know, put forth the effort that you think you need to do, and then do a little bit more, because then you take ownership of your effort, and then, you know, the team really becomes, you know, you become a part of the team, and can help you guys win football games and stuff like that. So I'd say just work hard and take ownership in what you do.
All right, well, thanks, Sean. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
All right, after this, we're going to take a look at next week's game against Davidson. Stay with us on Inside Butler Football. Back here on Inside Butler Football. So Butler's coming off a 5-game winning streak, and currently they're perfect in the PFL right now. And they're playing Davidson, North Carolina this week, so they got a little bit of traveling ahead of them. I was looking at some of the PFL standings, and Davidson seems to struggle with the run. They're ranking last, but then they're ranked 2nd for their passing offense. So what is the Butler defense going to have to do to eliminate the strength of their passing game?
Well, I think every week you start by saying you got to make them one-dimensional. So, I mean, we're still going to, you know, go out with the idea that you have to stop the run and force them to be one-dimensional. Then at that point, I mean, that's what they do. I mean, that part's going to be tough. So, I mean, it's 11 guys doing their job. Best pass coverage is a pass rush, and we got to do that and continue to you know, cap the field and keep the ball in front of us. And they're going to be a challenge. There's no question. They're really good on offense and getting better every week.
Now, they're also good on defense, too. They consistently change their defensive plan every week. So as an offense, how do you prepare for that, knowing that a look that you prepare for might not even happen?
I mean, there's no question that they're well coached. I mean, you can see it on tape. The players do what they're asked to do, and they do it at you know, with great enthusiasm and speed, and they get there. I think the biggest thing is that they do have a fundamental scheme or plan that you got to go off of, and they've given us trouble for a lot of years. They've done a great job. So, I mean, preparation becomes key, and understanding how they've played other guys and how they've played you in the past to give you the best chance on Saturday. But all game plans are really just a pre-game plan. You got to make your adjustments when you're there. So communication from the press box down, and from from the players on the field and what they're seeing. You just gotta, you understand kind of what they base out of and our initial plan, and go from there as the game progresses.
Now, this is the third plane trip that the team has taken this year. Currently, you're 1-1 on these kind of trips. You lost to Dartmouth, won to Marist. So, how do you think this travel might affect the team this year or this weekend?
Well, I mean, we're definitely a different team than went to Dartmouth or even went to Marist. You grow each week. I think the biggest thing is to control what you control. I mean, you don't control the time the flight leaves or what your dinner is, or some of those things are locked in for you. So, I mean, our guys just got to get back to focusing on, their preparation, taking care of their body, getting their study, and doing the things they need to do to prepare for kickoff on Saturday. I mean, it's probably as easy a trip as we have, in our league when we have to go through an airport. So, we don't see that as being a major issue. I think at this point of the season, you're kind of locked into a routine, and it's a matter of staying with that routine and doing all the little things that you've done week in and week out to get yourself ready.
All right, well, good luck this week.
Thank you very much.
All right, we thank you for joining us on our 8th episode of Inside Butler Football. That will do it for this week's episode. Thanks for watching.